Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. It is Tuesday, the 8th day of July. I got Riley Sykart on with me here. We're going to jump into U.S. weather. Riley, we're basically coming back from a 3-day weekend. We put a little premium in the market last week, hoping for maybe a little bit of a drying pattern or some sort of change in events from the weather, but based on the markets and today's weather maps, it's looking like we got a lot more of the same. Things are pretty well set to ideal, plenty of moisture in the forecast. Am I missing something here?
Pretty spot on. There was some speculation of some technical and fundamental stuff going into the weekend that helped rally us on Wednesday and Thursday last week. And come Sunday night, we found out none of that was the case, and we took it all back off pretty quick. So
Yeah.
as we look in the weather here, it's going to look pretty similarly to what we have been seeing over the past few weeks. So good with you. Let's just hop right into the maps, starting out with some conditions. So yesterday afternoon, crop conditions came out. Corn up 1% again. For this time of year, crop conditions to be being overall raised is, I'd say, pretty rare, especially in July. This is typically a drier period where conditions start to sag a little bit. So corn being raised another percent is definitely not good news for the markets. So 74% good to excellent. If you see, that compares to last year's 68, and we had a record national yield last year. So that kind of puts into perspective where we're at right now.
Is Illinois is rated better than last year now?
They have been. They're basically back down to the same as last year. Last year, 67 versus 68 right now. Stuff looks good overall. Eastern Corn Belt, that Ohio, Indiana, well behind last year, struggling a little bit. That's not anything new. Dakota's either at last year or not too far behind, so nothing crazy going on. Iowa at 86% good to excellent on corn. I mean, that's unheard of in my opinion. Clint, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable levels. And, I guess from the guys I'm talking to, it's pretty hard to argue.
Yeah, I'm talking with some farmers. Some people, those big rains that came from down in Texas, concern of, is that going to come anywhere else? I'd say as of now, forecasts say no. So not really. Markets especially don't care about excess rain. They care more about drought. So conditions right now for corn are set to ideal. Beans left.
Do you see the home run hit over there in Colorado?
Yeah, I don't. I'm assuming they got some rain there. I don't have any other explanation than that. Any rain in Colorado is I think, a blessing. So stuff looks good out there. Switching to beans here. The southern Arkansas, Mississippi, down a couple there. I don't have an explanation for that other than the large rains that came through. Maybe it was actually hurting them, as they're probably getting close to soybean harvest, aren't they, Clint?
They probably got a little ways to go yet, but yeah, I would imagine that it was mostly too much rain oriented.
Yep, and then Ohio down 5%. North Dakota down 1. Everywhere else was either zeroed out or up. So not really any big significant differences. Tennessee up 15%. I don't have the rhyme or reason behind that one either. I'd say maybe playing a little bit of catch up with everything else, because the percentage wise it was lagging way behind. But conditions wise right now, we are behind last year in beans. I would contribute that to having wet feet. Beans don't handle that as well as corn. Other than that, right now, not really anything concerning. So switching gears here, looking in the 1 to 5 day, and we don't have it in our forecast, but even the extended models, temperatures are not going to be an issue through the month of July. It's looking like right now, 80s to in the south, low to mid 90s. I mean, that's pretty mild for the month of July. Not anything obsessively hot there. 6 to 10, some regions to the west showing a little bit more heat. Other than that, I mean, nothing right now that's critical. I mean, this time of year, I'd actually call this cooler temps, wouldn't you, Clint?
Yeah, and I mean the temperature maps, you can tell by the brighter colored orange that we're still normal or maybe potentially slightly above normal. I haven't looked at the departure maps, but yeah, I would say that, certainly ideal temperatures and nothing here to balk at.
Yeah, stuff's, I mean, everything's set good. Looking at last 13 days of rain. There were some rains over the weekend of the 4th, especially through Iowa, moving northeast through the Wisconsin, Minnesota region. So a lot of good rains were seen. That's being shown there. Looking ahead, the 1 to 5 day, some chances of rain in Iowa today, and then everywhere else showing some chances on Friday, getting a little bit more. So some spotty stuff. We'll see how much of that's widespread, but anybody that's getting rain in the month of July, I mean, it's going to be beneficial for the crop and not very good for the markets, as we're seeing here on yesterday and today. So 6 to 10 day shows a lot more spotty stuff still in the mix, but anything with any bit of green this time of year is viewed negatively by the markets, and it's being shown. So
Yeah,
spotty rains in the
not only
forecast.
that, and not only that, I mean, like we could go through periods of rain that could potentially be beneficial to the crops. I think there's more areas of the country that would benefit from a little setback in rainfall versus more rainfall.
Yeah, especially after some has been in the mix over the last 2 weeks. I think guys could go through the fully through tassel now and not be uncomfortable. I think you could get to the point where if you could get an August rain to fill out beans and maybe help out the corn a little bit, I think other than that, they can't really ask for a whole much more.
Yeah.
So moving ahead, the 1 to 13, putting it all together, that 10 to 13 model, well, I'm not trusting the accuracy of it. We've mentioned that before. It has rain in the forecast, and anything with moisture in the forecast is all that we really need to see for this time of year. So
Plus,
overall,
the
Clint,
pattern has been, at least here. I mean, you can't speak for everywhere in the country, and there will be areas like, you always will find these little pockets like the guys just are, I don't get it. Like 20 miles north of me, it's raining, 20 miles south. Here I am, it's dry. I can't get it. But we've been in this pattern where 40% chance of rain means it's going to rain. Some years you sit here and watch the extended forecast and there's 60-80% chance of rain, and then we get nothing. That clearly is not 2025.
yep, I agree. So overall, Clint, map wise, that's all I've got for today. But on the personal side, crops here locally look fantastic, and I don't see any reason for that to change.
Sounds good, Riley. Well, I appreciate you putting the maps together. Again, Clint McLaughlin, Riley Sicard, Midwest Market Management. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks a lot and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.